Hello my darlings, I'm TwisTay and today I'm going to be presenting you a classic movie which I hold belovedly in my heart, The Shining. Now, The Shining is a book that was originally written by Stephen King. He came up with the inspiration for the Shining book. Him and his family went up to a hotel in Colorado during the winter seasons, and they were the only guests there at the hotel. That night, Stephen King had a nightmare about his son riding in the corridors, and there was other imagery that popped up into his dream, and he woke up scared with sweat all on his bed. And that is how he became with the inspiration for the novel The Shining. The Shining book came out in 1977, and then the original movie, directed by Stanley Kubrick, came out in 1980. And to this day, it is a masterpiece. The Shining is about a family that heads up to an isolated cabin for the winter months to take care of it and make sure that nothing bad happens to it. And during that time, evil and spiritual presence taunts the entire family and turns them more and more into madness. What I absolutely loved most about this movie was A, the cinematography, B, the musical score, because every time there was a tense moment, the music intensified it, and it was absolutely wonderful. Jack Nicholson is absolutely wonderful. Stephen King, he did not like Jack Nicholson's portrayal. He wanted the character's portrayal of madness to be ascending upward in a slow level. In the way that Jack Nicholson's acting, as he was portraying it, it looked like Jack's character was already had a little bit of madness in it, and then it just kept intensifying it. But I absolutely loved it. Shelley Duvall did a wonderful job as the mother. I felt like she overacted a little bit, but then when you read the stories about how Kubrick, he purposely made sure that she was feeling isolation, making her feel vulnerable, you understand why she was acting that way. Funny fact, Stephen King absolutely did not like Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining. He described The Shining as a beautiful car without an engine. Basically, that is his way of saying it looked beautiful, but it lacked the substance. And Stephen King, he wanted to do his own version to justify his novel, and he created the mini-series Stephen King's The Shining. But unfortunately, that didn't get as much praise as Stanley Kubrick's. Now, the reason why I did this review is to see if classic horror movies live up to today's standards. I will be doing a lot more horror reviews on the movie classics that people back then thought was absolutely nightmare-inducing. So does The Shining live up to today's horror movie standards? Why don't I actually tell you what it has and what it doesn't, and then I'll give you to the yes it does or no it absolutely doesn't. There are two horror movie cliches. One is a family moves up to an isolated house or cabin, and the madness starts to ensue with them as they are isolated from everyday life. There are 12 eerie moments, and I decide what eerie moments are based on if I get goosebumps or if my heart starts to race a little bit. The little boy Danny, he gets a vision of the bloody elevator scene for the first time. There are 6 suspenseful moments. These moments actually made my heart race, and even though this is an old classic movie that tons of people have already seen, I'm still not going to spoil the suspense moments for you, just in case. This is definitely something you need to see for yourself. There is only one jump scare, but this was a good jump scare. The jump scare was caused by the person doing the action. And it's kind of also a little spoiler as well, so I'm not going to mention it at all. So does The Shining still live up to today's horror movie standards? Yes. Absolutely does, in my personal opinion. However, I must say, if you are the type of person that depends on jump scares in order to have a good fright for a horror movie, this is not going to be you. This actually has built up momentum of the eerie moments that cause terror and suspense in your heart and in your brain and causes your imagination to run wild. Hence why it's an absolute classic, and hence why I'm giving this movie a 5 out of 5 stars. So please go and watch it. If you have not, it is beautiful, absolutely stunning, music, cinematography-wise, acting-wise, just absolutely wonderful. Just watch it. So have any of you guys seen The Shining? What do you think about it? Have you ever watched a movie that justified the novel, or do you feel all movies that are novel based never justify? Write your comments below and we will have a discussion about that. Do you guys have a horror movie you want me to review, old or new? Please write them down in the comments. I will get to them as soon as I possibly can. If you liked what you've seen, please hit the like button, or if you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. So, until next time, my loves.